Hello, and today we will be talking about factorization of quadratic equations. I know there's a lot of confusing words in this, but it's very simple once you get the idea. Let's first start off with an easy one. X squared plus 2x equals, no, 2x plus 1 equals 0. Like, if you're doing the classical method where you put two brackets to divide it easier, like, since there's two x's, you put since there's like x times x for like this one, you put x on this side and x on this side. Because like when you distribute later, you'd like, let's actually just put this as an, 1 second, sorry. Like the answer for this would be this. But the reason why we put these into brackets is because it's this is factorization and like it's easier to like find the answer. Because like the answer here would be x equals -1. Like distributing works by like x multiplied by x and x multiplied by 1 multiplied by x, and 1 multiplied by 1. If you do that, x multiplied by x would be this, x multiplied by 1 would be this, 1 multiplied by x would be this, and 1 multiplied by 1 would be 1. And that's basically how you factorize. But imagine you seeing like a confusing equation like 2x squared plus 3x plus let's say, 1 second, let's say 1 equals 0. Now you gotta know that there's like a number, there's like a coefficient, was it? So sorry, I might need to look that up, and I'll just check the comments later because like I forget vocab easily. I'll just, yep, sorry. Anyways, since there's a coefficient, I'm pretty sure, in front of the variable, the coefficient will have to go somewhere. So like you can put 2x and x, because 2x times x would be 2x squared. Now, since there's 1 and a number you put here and a number you put here, if you multiply them together, it has to be 1. But there's only one pair, which would be 1 times 1, which is 1, of course. And let's check. 2x times x equals 2x squared. 2x times 1 equals 2x. 1 times x equals x. And 1 times 1 equals 1. If you like add them all, if you like simplify all of them, it would be this from, yeah. But since if we're trying to find x here, and that's what we're supposed to do, obviously, you just, since this has to be 0 and this or this has to be 0, because like let's say this was like z and this was like y, z times y equals 0. If one of these is 0, then it would automatically be 0. Now since it's kind of messy, let me just, oh my, actually yep, let's go back to here. Since one of these have to equal, at least one of these have to equal 0, let's put one of these at the bottom. 2x plus 1 equals 0. You subtract 1 for each side, 2x equals -1. Now you divide 2 by each side, which would be x equals -1 over 2. Now if you go for this one, x plus 1 equals 0. X equals, now you subtract both sides by 1, obviously. X equals -1. So you have two answers for this. X equals -1 over 2, and x equals -1. Now we'll just do one more example before we wrap it up. Let's see. let's go a bit more challenging. 3x squared plus 19x plus 20 equals 0. Now first we can tell that 3 is like not dividable, so you can like put 3x on one side and x on the other. Now you just think about what two numbers multiplied would equal 20. And they're like pairs like 1 times 20 equals 20, 2 times 10 equals 20, 4 times 5 equals 20, and yeah, that's it, unless you like reverse them, of course. Anyways, you like substitute each one to which one would be like the closest. If you put plus 20 plus 1, that would be 20x plus 3x, which is not 19x, obviously. Let's next try 2 times 10. If we put it here and here, would that work? 10x plus 6x equals 16x. No, it is not 19x. Let's try with 4 and 5. 4 and 5. If we put them, 15, since we multiply this and this, 15x plus 4x equals 19x, and there you have it. It's 4 and 5. Those two numbers are the answers. 3x plus 4 equals, 3x parentheses, 3x plus 4 parentheses close parentheses, x plus 5 parentheses close equals 0. Now, as I showed you before, we'll now, since if at least one of these are 0, one of these at least had to be 0, so the answer will be 0, because anything times 0 equals 0. Like even infinity, which is pretty much the biggest number. Of course, there's no end to infinity, but still, you get the point. 3x plus 4 equals 0. You subtract 4 both sides, 3x equals minus negative 4. Then you divide each side by 3, x equals negative 4 over 3. So one of the answers would be x equals negative 4 over 3. Now we do the next one. X plus 5 equals 0. You subtract 5 by both sides, x equals negative 5, and there you have it. X equals negative 4 over 3, and x equals negative 5. Now let's just do... Actually, let's just do one more before we wrap it up. Because, like, so far, if you've noticed, I've been using, like, prime numbers for, like, 2x squared and 3x squared, like, the first bits, which makes it a lot easier. But if you have, like, a number that is not prime, like 10x squared plus 9x plus 2 equals 0. This looks a bit harder because, like, 10, it can, like, there's multiples for this, like 1 equals 10 equals 10, and 2 times 5 equals 10. And here you just have to basically just guess till it works out. We do like, let's try doing 10x and x first. 10x and x. Since this is only 1 times 2, that's the only like multiples you can do. Let's try like plus 1 plus 2 equals 0. That would be 10x squared, correct? That would be 1x only plus 2. That is not 9x. And let's try flipping the numbers around. 2x plus 10x for these. No, it is not 9x, so let's try using 2x plus 5x. 2x and 5x. Let's try 1 and 2. Do that. 5x, do that. 4x. 5x plus 4x equals 9x. Now we found it. Now we just had to find it. Since both sides, at least one side have to be 0, you do one at a time. Negative minus 1 minus 1. 2x equals negative 1, and x equals negative 1 over 2. 5x plus 2 equals 0. Just do that, do that, do that, and the answers would be x equals negative 2 over 5, and x equals negative 1 over 2.